If you're a woman looking to lose 8 to 12 pounds in the next 12 weeks, then this video is for you. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Misha if you're new here, and I run an online fitness business for women to help them lose body fat, build confidence and improve their mindset. And in today's video, I am going to run through the exact blueprint that you can use to lose 8 to 12 pounds in a sustainable manner before summer so that you can feel your most confident. Losing 8 to 12 pounds is absolutely possible in the next 12 weeks. You just need to have the correct structure and method in place to make it happen. The mistake a lot of people make is that they slash their calories too quick, too soon. They end up hungry, tired, fatigued, and they can't stick with it long term. As well as that, they give up absolutely everything that they love and enjoy, which means that the sustainable fat loss is no longer very sustainable, and post-holiday, they rebound really badly. Today, I'm going to go through how you can make fat loss more enjoyable, more sustainable, but also, you will need to push yourself a little bit if you want to lose 8 to 12 pounds. That's okay. You just need to make sure that you reverse out of the diet properly. The first and most important part of losing body fat is ensuring that you are in a calorie deficit, which means that you are burning more than you are consuming. Now, I am a female fat loss coach. I work with women with PCOS and gut issues, hormonal issues, health issues. It is not that simple for every single woman. Fat loss is not a one size fits all. Calorie deficits work for most people, but for some people they do not. And I want to preface this video by saying that, because if you have been in a calorie deficit and doing all the right things but your body's not responding, that is a scenario where maybe you need to look a little bit further into what the issue might be. However, we're talking about Gen Pop today. We're talking about healthy women who do not have any underlying health concerns. If you are in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose weight. In order to lose body fat, we first need to reverse engineer what your deficit needs to look like. 1 pound of body fat is 3,500 calories. So if you are looking to lose 0.5 to 1 pound per week, that would look like a calorie deficit of 1,750 to 3,500 calories per week, spread across the week, which is roughly around 300 to 500 of a calorie deficit per day. This can be done through food, movement, or a combination of the two. What I would do is I would combine the two, because it means you don't have to drop your calories as low initially. You have a little bit more wiggle room, and it's nice to focus on performance and diet together because it makes it feel less like a diet. What we're going to do is find your maintenance calories. I'm going to link a maintenance calorie calculator below that you can use. You input your metrics and you find your maintenance. Ideally, you need to eat your maintenance calories for a couple of weeks to ensure that it is actually your maintenance calories. Then what you're going to do is subtract between 300 to 500 calories off the maintenance, and that is your calorie deficit. So if you are a woman whose maintenance calories is 2,000, I would start on a calorie deficit of maybe 1,700 or 1,800 if you're going to increase output. And as you go through the deficit, we will decrease that as your body adapts. Then when it comes to increasing your movement, the first thing I would look at is your step count, because it's low intensity, it doesn't cause extra stress on the body, and it's one of the easiest ways for people to increase their output. Now, 10,000 steps is not a magic number. What I want you to do is look at your weekly average as it stands. That might be 7,000, it might be 12,000, but what you're going to do is you're going to add an extra 1,000 steps on. And then when that's manageable, add another 1,000 steps over the course of the 12 weeks. Obviously, you're not going to go up to like 20,000 steps, but get it to a place that's manageable, that you can hit those targets each day and keep it there. That's a very easy way to increase your output. Look at your steps as a weekly average rather than day to day. You might have a day or two in the week where your steps are a little bit low, but then equally you're going to have days where your steps are higher, and that will combine over the course of the week to create an average that we can work with. Another way to increase your output is through low intensity cardio, like the bike, the cross trainer, Stairmaster. Low intensity steady state. It doesn't spike the heart rate too high, it doesn't spike hunger, and your body has the ability to recover. Then we want to look at strength training. Most people make the mistake of doing tons and tons of cardio when they start a deficit, but it's not essential. You need to have the bones of your training centered around strength training. The reason for this is that when you build muscle, you improve your metabolic rate. So if you have more muscle on your frame, you burn more calories at rest, and it also means you can have a higher maintenance calorie. Instead of doing tons of cardio, tons of HIIT training, killing yourself going for runs when you don't even enjoy them, Primarily focus on strength training. Cardio is just an additional tool. I have had clients in the past who have done no more than 30 minutes cardio a week. I myself don't do a whole lot of cardio. I don't enjoy it, so I don't use it that much. Most of your training should be made up of strength. As you build muscle, your body is going to handle fat loss better, and you're going to handle food better in the future as well, so do not screw yourself with that one. Then when it comes to nutrition, we spoke about being in a calorie deficit, but calories are not enough. You need to focus on a high protein diet. We want to be consuming around 1.8 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. This is going to keep you full, it's going to keep you satiated, and it is going to also preserve muscle mass. If you don't follow a high protein diet, you're going to have cravings, you're going to have spikes in hunger, and it's going to be harder to manage the fat loss phase. A high protein diet also helps with blood sugar regulation and insulin sensitivity, so you're not getting those spikes and falls in blood sugars. So it's a really important macronutrient to make sure that you're including. But we also don't want to neglect carbs and fats. They have their place and they're super, super important. Fats in particular for female hormone function. So make sure that your plate of food is balanced with every meal you're having. If your calorie target is 1700, you want to be making sure that you're having 3 high protein meals a day that have carbs and fats in them as well. As we decrease your calories through the deficit, you're going to pull those calories from carbs and fats, not protein. It's going to keep you fuller, it's going to preserve muscle mass. It goes without saying, stay hydrated. Make sure you're drinking 2 to 3 litres of water per day. Finally, when it comes to meals out, I think this is the most important one for people. You do not need to give up eating out when you're in a deficit, but you do need to make smarter choices. As a woman, we naturally have less flexibility than men. One meal out could take you out of your deficit because food in a restaurant is high in calories naturally, and women don't have as much wiggle room. So if you're going out and you're ordering burgers, pizzas, pastas, starters, mains, desserts, chances are you are taking yourself out of a deficit, and that's the reason why you're always going around on a hamster wheel trying to lose body fat but not getting very far with it. Whenever I'm in a deficit, I do not avoid eating out, I just make smarter choices. Because going out for food, it's about the memories that you make with the people around you. It's not about the food itself. So take the focus off the food on the plate and focus on the people, focus on the conversations, and focus on the memories. Modify your meals out, don't avoid them. Just ask the restaurant to make a couple of tweaks here and there to the meal so that you can still enjoy it but also align it with your goals. Instead of just opting for the first thing on the menu out of habit, read the menu and see what the best choice is, and make that choice knowing that in 12 weeks time the future version of you is going to thank you for it. Some tips when eating out in restaurants: choose a lean cut of meat instead of pizzas, pastas, burgers. Ask for the meat to be cooked dairy free. This will mean it's not cooked in any butter, and you can also ask them to cook it with less oil. Now, we can't control how much oil a restaurant uses, but asking for these things is going to save you some calories. When a meal comes out, if I get a steak for example and I can see that's dripping in oil, I'll just pat excess oil off it. It means it's going onto the tissue and it's not going into my stomach. Another really easy way for you to save calories is to ask for the sauce on the side. Again, restaurants don't care if you're in a calorie deficit. They care about the taste and the flavour. They're going to drench your food in sauce. And chances are, if you were to put that sauce on the plate yourself, you wouldn't use that much of it. So ask for the sauce on the side and just portion control what goes on. If you are really wanting to have a starter or a dessert, share it with someone, because most of the time you just want a taste for it. You don't actually want the whole thing. Of course, it's fine to have these things on occasion, but limiting this throughout your deficit is going to help you reach your goals faster. I would ask for a plate of veg on the side, and you always want to eat your fibre and your protein first, because that's going to fill you up, and then you're going to be less likely to overconsume on carbohydrates and fats. Check in with yourself weekly. Take a weekly average in scale weight. Don't just step on the scales once a week. Females fluctuate. Around your cycle, you are going to be up. If you're stressed out, your scales might fluctuate as well. So take your scale weight several times in the week if it doesn't trigger you, and find a weekly average. Take pictures, check in with how you're feeling in your clothes, and use a number of metrics to measure your progress, because there is no one size fits all. If after 1 week you don't see progress, please don't freak out. Please just keep things the same for 2 to 3 weeks, because fat loss compounds. You didn't gain weight overnight, you're not going to lose it overnight either. So keep things simple for a couple of weeks And after 2 to 3 weeks, if no movement is happening, you reassess and you move forward with either slightly bringing calories down by maybe 50 to 100 calories per day, increasing cardio by 5 to 10 minutes, or increasing your step count. It's also worth looking at factors outside of this like stress, sleep, hydration, etc., because all of those things also do make a difference. That is how you are going to lose 8 to 12 pounds over the next 12 weeks. It's not difficult. You don't need to give up your life. You just need to understand how fat loss works and move forward with it that way. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.